Breaking news. This just came down the newswire. There have been several published reports as well as media outlets are confirming this story, and this story is actual factual truth that Fox Sports 1 Skip Bayless has possibly found a debate partner for Skip Bayless, and it's Richard Sherman. Now, Richard Sherman was on no one's radar, including WA, and it comes on the heels of a lot of people, a lot of content providers on YouTube that has an axe to grind with Skip Bayless. I'm not even going to mention these guys' names, that they made videos after videos, live streams after live streams saying it's all over. The doom and gloom police talking about it's official. Undisputed is no more. Skip Bayless is this. Skip Bayless is that. No one wants to work with Skip Bayless, even though ESPN just laid off a lot of popular personalities that are out there in these streets looking for a job, still scrambling to look for a job. Such people like Jalen Rose, as well as Max Kellerman, Keyshawn Johnson, the list goes on and on and on. But nevertheless, people still pump this narrative of no one wants to work with Skip Bayless. And a lot of media outlets and a lot of, media personalities have pretty much confirmed that Richard has gone up in the ranks and is possibly going to replace Shannon Sharpe, and it's going to be debating against Skip Bayless. Now, first and foremost, this is going to be an extremely long video. So if you don't like extremely long videos, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to give you guys the tea. Also, try to connect the dots, for the slow ones out there. And I'm about to drop some jewels on you guys, okay? But nevertheless, I'm the best. Now, now there's going to be a lot of naysayers and a lot of people that hate to be wrong, and they're going to say the following: I always knew that Richard Sherman was going to get the nod to replace Shannon Sharpe, even though you didn't see that video from your favorite YouTube content creator or just content creators in general on social media confirming that Richard Sherman could be a possible replacement for Shannon Sharpe. I, for one, look, I could be wrong sometimes. I did several videos. I gave you guys my top 3 who could possibly replace Shannon Sharpe internally at Fox Sports 1, as well as externally outside of the walls and the confounds of Fox Sports 1. I have both those videos in my YouTube channel. Go check those out, okay, at your leisure. But I didn't think that Richard Sherman, and I didn't put Richard Sherman on any list as far as it go as replacing Shannon Sharpe. Now, I'm going to tell you what this means for Undisputed, what this means for Skip Bayless, and is Richard Sherman going to do a better job than Shannon Sharpe? And what does this mean for Shannon Sharpe, as far as his future in sports media and sports entertainment? Okay, so let's just start connecting the dots. First and foremost, I want to say this. This still does not mean that at the end of the day, Skip Bayless could just take this extremely left and copy and paste the ideal ESPN has for Stephen A. Smith over there at First Take, where, Skip Bayless, debates a different personality every week, similar to what Stephen A. Smith does over there at First Take, where you have someone from that's quite knowledgeable in the NFL when the NFL season starts, or have a personality for college football, a personality for basketball, or just a celebrity. That there have been several outlets that have confirmed that Lil Wayne may join the show once a week. So people are connecting the dots saying, okay, so Lil Wayne has agreed that he'll do one show a week with Skip Bayless. So if you connect the dots, that means that Skip Bayless is probably going to copy and paste what they do and what works great for First Take. Ever since First Take utilized that strategy, First Take numbers are through the roof. Okay, they have been bigger and better with this new format than just having Stephen A. Smith debate Max Kellerman. Okay, Max Kellerman went to Keyshawn and Jay Will. He also had an afternoon show, and both of those shows have been canceled. And now Max Kellerman is out here in the streets looking for a job. Okay, so there is a possibility that even though Richard gets the nod and debates Skip Bayless, that don't necessarily mean he's going to be permanent. You're going to see him every day debating Skip Bayless. This could go left where they'll have someone different debate Skip Bayless. Okay, that's probably their numero uno strategy. But let's just say hypothetically, Skip Bayless is quite fond of, and I'm pretty sure they're going to do a couple of testings with one another, and to pick each other's brain, see how the chemistry works before they make it official and before they start going live. Let's just say hypothetically, Richard Sherman, I'm about to say Richard Seymour. Richard Sherman is replacing Shannon Sharpe. What does this mean for Undisputed? And what does this mean for Skip Bayless? And what does this mean for Shannon Sharpe? I think if Richard Sherman is going to be debating Skip Bayless 5 days a week, I think they just hit a home run with this. The possibilities of them hitting singles and doubles or an inside apart home run, rarely that happens, okay? Of the different personalities and the different hosts that they were going to, a lot of people were rumored to link up with Skip Bayless. If they officially say Richard is going to be debating Skip Bayless 5 days a week, they found their replacement for Shannon Sharpe. I'm going to tell you guys, after a couple of months, people are going to start saying Shannon Sharpe who. Okay? I think Richard Sherman is, if you compare Richard Sherman and Shannon Sharpe, both of these guys were at their highest profession in their career in the National Football League. Okay, both of these guys have won Super Bowls. Both of these guys are quite knowledgeable of the sport that they used to perform at in that arena. Both of these two guys are incredibly knowledgeable about sports outside of their comfort zone. Okay, I feel like both of these guys are going to do the work. I think both of these guys are intelligent, entertaining, and both of these. And the one thing you're going to get a lot more from Richard Sherman that you're not going to get with Shannon Sharpe is Richard Sherman is not going to back down to Skip Bayless. If Skip Bayless says something wild, or if Skip Bayless tries to snap at Richard Sherman, it's going to hit a little different with Richard Sherman than with Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe will make a scene on Undisputed, maybe tweet about it and this, that, and the third behind the scenes. But he's not going to play, he's not going to play the tactics that Shannon Sharpe did. When Shannon Sharpe had his issues with Skip Bayless, he would take it upstairs. He would take it to the bosses. And at that particular time, the bosses were more favorable to Skip Bayless because they gave Skip Bayless not one bag, but 2 bags, okay? It's Skip Bayless's show, Undisputed, okay? They pulled Skip Bayless from ESPN. There was a possibility that Skip Bayless could have went back to ESPN, but the bosses decided to give him his money and, give him whatever he wants to remain on the roster of Fox Sports 1. Now, like it or not, love it or hate it, I know a lot of people are going to be critical of that part, but it is what it is. Skip Bayless was one of the alphas of Fox Sports 1. And when you look at Shannon Sharpe, they just didn't feel that way. Even with this new regime, the old regime hired Skip Bayless. And the old regime wanted Skip Bayless to debate another media personality. It was recommended by Skip Bayless that he wanted to debate Shannon Sharpe. Skip Bayless had to convince the old regime to hire Shannon Sharpe. So Shannon Sharpe wasn't even on the radar with the old regime when they gave Skip Bayless his first bag. When Skip Bayless was finished with that contract and the new regime came in, they gave Skip Bayless another big bag, okay? Now, last summer, and I said this in a video a year ago, last summer was the end of Shannon Sharpe's contract. Did they reward Shannon Sharpe with a bag? No. Did they reward Shannon Sharpe with more control, more influence on Undisputed? No. They spent almost a year trying to hammer out a way to sever their ties with each other. All right. So now you got Shannon Sharpe out there as a free agent. Now, I really think the new regime is more favorable to Skip Bayless, but I also feel like this was more business than personal. I think sports entertainment, the sports media side of things, has fallen to the wayside. It's not only affecting ESPN. We see the layoffs over there at ESPN, but it's also affecting Fox Sports 1. It's also affecting NBC Sports. It's also affecting CBS Sports, all right? That hence why you don't see a lot of these networks saying, oh, man, Jalen Rose is out there. Oh, man, Max Kellerman's out there. Let's get him a bag and pull him over here to our network, okay? So that's why you haven't heard a lot of outlets saying, or TNT saying, oh, let's go get that guy. Let's give him the bag, all right? I feel like there's plenty of opportunities and jobs for Max Kellerman and Jalen Rose, the people who were laid off over there at ESPN, but they're not going to get nowhere near the money that they were making at the worldwide leader of sports. Let's just go ahead and call a spade a spade. But anywho, back to this topic, all right? I think with Richard Seymour, he's going to stand his ground live with Skip Bayless. I think Skip Bayless would like that. I think Skip Bayless would appreciate and respect that. Another thing that you're going to get more from Richard Sherman than Shannon Sharpe is Richard Sherman is not an industry plant. Richard Sherman is not a fanboy. Richard Sherman is not going to, pull on different narratives and things of that nature. He's not going to be a LeBron James apologist, all right? He's not going to be, that type of guy. Richard is going to speak his mind. He's going to say his piece, and he's going to stay on his island, all right? So that's another side that you're going to get from Richard Sherman that you couldn't get from Shannon Sharpe. I think Shannon Sharpe was so hyped about the popularity that he was getting, the attention he was getting on social media, and he loved to name drop people. He loved the character of Unc. You got the skits from Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe is, very comedic, very funny, okay? But I don't think you're going to get none of that. I know you're definitely not going to get that from Richard. Richard is going to go to the set, do his thing, and he's going to try to outshine Skip Bayless by the work that he puts in on Undisputed, by giving him facts, giving him dropping jewels, as well as giving his own take on whatever they're going to be debating about. I think this is a better matchup, in my humble opinion, than Skip and Shannon. I think Skip and Richard is going to be a better tandem than the latter. All right, and I just listed off why I felt that way. I think the numbers will go up. I think they're going to play to the strengths of NFL season. Richard Sherman is tied to the NFL. Richard Sherman is a big name, a big draw in the NFL. Not to say Shannon Sharpe isn't or wasn't, but let's just face facts and face reality. Shannon Sharpe, played. It's been almost 20 years since Shannon Sharpe played in the NFL. Richard Sherman, at least you heard his name in the NFL when Tom Brady was when Tom Brady's last year with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Richard Sherman tried to get on the roster of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Things didn't work or planned due to his health reasons and things of that nature. So Richard Sherman, if Richard Sherman is the permanent debate partner for Skip Bayless, and Undisputed falls in line with the NFL season, I think the ratings are going to go up. I don't think they're going to go down. Now, at the end of the day, I don't think they're going to ever, have more ratings, or they're going to be more popular, than First Take. On the height of Undisputed, on the height of Skip Bayless, on the height of Shannon Sharpe, they still could not beat First Take. Remember, everyone, you had all these content creators that hated Skip Bayless so much. They came with their blasphemy, and can I say that 3 times fast? And their false narratives and things of that nature. And they hated on the concept, and they hated. It was at a time where ESPN wasn't on everyone's favorite list, and they just wanted an ESPN killer, and everyone thought and assumed that it was going to be Undisputed because of this new show called Undisputed. And people connected the dots and say, okay, well, they pulled Skip Bayless from ESPN, even though when Skip Bayless was over there at ESPN, no one liked Skip Bayless. Wasn't even a likable person at ESPN. The same thoughts and opinions people have of Skip Bayless now, they had those same thoughts and opinions of Skip Bayless when he was at ESPN. So Fox Sports 1 pulled Skip Bayless from ESPN. Skip Bayless brought Shannon Sharpe, and then they formed Undisputed. Before they even aired their first show, everyone was talking about how this show was going to be the ESPN killer. They're going to kill in the ratings. They're going to get all the ratings and things of that nature. I did a video about that, and I told everyone 7 years ago what still is being a major factor today. ESPN is in more households than Fox Sports 1. All right. Let's just say they're in 10 times more households than Fox Sports 1. Let's just say Fox Sports 1 is in 1 out of every 10 households. All right. Do the math. It's just not going. They're just simply not the ESPN killer. Even though when First Take was screwing up, replacing Skip Bayless with Max Kellerman, no one liked that idea or concept. The bad chemistry with Max Kellerman and Stephen A. Smith. Okay, everyone started to hate on Stephen A. Smith. All right, during that time, Undisputed, and that was the more popular show. If you listen to social media, that was more of the popular show than ESPN, and they still couldn't command the ratings at the end of the day because they were not in more households than ESPN. Fox Sports 1 is not in more households than ESPN, so it was never going to happen. All right, so now I feel like the numbers are going to be better because they're going to tie in Undisputed on the first week of NFL football, and they're going to have football stories. And I feel like the numbers are going to be better than they were last year. The test of time is going to be when basketball season starts. All right, that's going to show whether or not this is going to be a real future of Skip and Richard. All right, so Richard Sherman. So we're just going to have to wait to basketball season. But by that time, I feel like a lot of people that adapted to the new format of Undisputed and Richard, they like Richard. You know, people still hate Skip. And if people are still watching them in football season, it would not surprise me nor shock me if they continue to watch them even through basketball and the rest of the year. So I feel like the numbers are going to be better. I don't think they're going to be extremely better, but I do think they're going to be better. All right. And I think Richard is a perfect replacement for Shannon Sharpe. I think people are going to forget about Shannon Sharpe. I'm not saying I'm not a hater of Shannon Sharpe. I just call it for like it is. You know, even though Shannon Sharpe has, ever since he got the job at Undisputed, people seem to forget before Undisputed, he was let go by CBS Sports. He was, you know, hopping from one network to another network, the NFL network. There was a portion of time where Shannon Sharpe was doing his pregame reports and talking about the Sunday morning games on the NFL on Twitch. That's how bad it got for Shannon Sharpe. Now, the reason why he got sort of blackballed from sports media, and at that particular time, you know, CBS Sports was a juggernaut. ESPN was a juggernaut. So at that particular time, if a network got rid of you, and then there's this false narrative out there. Well, I'm just going to say a narrative. I'm not going to say false, but allegedly of some workplace activities on an elevator. If you believe the story of Shannon Sharpe and his encounter with this female, and he was let go basically because of that. All right. A lot of networks didn't want to touch Shannon Sharpe with a 10-foot pole. All right. And that was before, you got these pro-women groups and Harvey Weinstein and all that stuff. Okay. So if, Shannon Sharpe has came a long way. He reunited his career, got extremely popular, got an opportunity with Skip Bayless, Undisputed, blew up, and Shannon Sharpe became a 3-ring circus, an attraction on social media. He got mad popular on social media due to what he did on Undisputed. People would say, I can't wait to watch the next Undisputed show. Ain't no telling what Shay Sharpe, what Unk's going to say, what Unk's going to do, the skits and things, and the pro LeBron James talk. He was always pulling to the popular strings, okay? He would say, okay, if everyone thinks that LeBron James the GOAT, I'm going to ride this narrative, okay? If everyone likes the skits, I'm going to push that a lot more. If everyone likes the old sayings from what my mama used to tell me, he started to become more of a character than the substance he can bring as an analyst. All right. And that's why he got incredibly popular. I'm not taking nothing away from Shannon Sharpe. I think if people watch Shannon Sharpe on Club Shay Shay or listen to Club Shay Shay, you get a different Shannon Sharpe on Club Shay Shay than you do on Undisputed. I think on Undisputed, Shannon Sharpe was playing Unk full time, the character on Undisputed. But when he did his own thing and started interviewing people on Club Shay Shay, that's when you saw the very best of Shannon Sharpe. I think Shannon Sharpe on Club Shay Shay was way better than Shannon Sharpe playing characters on Undisputed. But we all know what's really going on. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. He's making more money on Undisputed than he was on Club Shay Shay. Okay, now Club Shay Shay got 1 million followers. Club Shay Shay is the most popular auto podcast on Apple, Spotify, whatever. Okay. But I felt like Shannon Sharpe was, more knowledgeable, more popular, had more substance, on Club Shay Shay than he had on Undisputed. Now, what does this mean for the future? Since we are already on Shannon Sharpe, what does it mean for the future of Shannon Sharpe? I still feel like there's only two big competitors that probably going to get Shannon Sharpe, but with his, he got bought out, okay? And due to the language on getting bought out, I don't know when he's officially a free agent, but let's just say hypothetically he's a free agent right now. I feel like there's only two big corporations that's going to give Shannon Sharpe the bag. Okay. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, how is it when they had all these layoffs? I think ESPN would give Shannon Sharpe the bag. I think FanDuel will give Shannon Sharpe the bag. Okay. Amazon can easily top whatever type of money Disney or FanDuel tries to give to Shannon Sharpe. Amazon can just back up the whole Brinks truck and just say how many Brinks trucks it's going to take for you to come to Amazon. But I think with Amazon, it's not about the money. It's about do they really feel confident into getting into sports media? And is sports media that popular and that profitable? Okay. If you look at if you look at the numbers of what Fox Sports, not only ESPN was struggling, Fox Sports 1 was struggling. Nobody doesn't talk about the other networks that constantly talk about sports 24/7. All right. ESPN was struggling out here. Fox Sports 1 was struggling out here. CBS Sports was struggling out here. NBC Sports was struggling out here. All the major networks dipped, okay? And I feel like a lot of these networks are not changing with the times, okay? People's got the attention span of TikTok. There's a lot of content creators out there that give you sports takes in under 15 seconds, all right? There's a lot of content creators out there that have YouTube channels that can give you sport takes and sport topics in less than 5 minutes or 10 minutes. All right. And you don't need to hire a bunch of staffers. You don't need anyone in the set room, the sound room. All this stuff adds up. The bill just continues to pile up. Okay. Cameramen, you got to pay for the set. You got to pay for, everything. All right. Where if you look at these content creators on TikTok and on YouTube and on Instagram, they don't have that big of a budget. They don't have to pay all this stuff to fit some content in. I feel like a lot of these people that used to work at ESPN, Fox Sports 1, wherever, they're going to take the Pat McAfee approach. They're just going to create a YouTube channel and just go independent. Okay, Jason Whitlock has tried it. Okay, he's even though people have an issue with Jason Whitlock, his YouTube numbers are still up. Okay, so people going to come at you. People going to watch you for one or two reasons: because they hate you so much, or because they love you. Okay. So, that's the component of Jason Whitlock. Marcellus Wiley recently came to YouTube. Pat McAfee was always dominating on YouTube. I feel like a lot of these sports networks should take the approach of social media, of YouTube, okay? What bangs and what's popular in sports media and sports entertainment on a social media front, and transition that into network talk. Okay, the primetime hour talk. Okay, so yeah. But as far as the future goes for Shannon Sharpe, those are the two big heavy hitters. Amazon can come with the biggest, the best bag between those two. But how confident Amazon is with sports media? Okay, that's really the only thing that's not pulling the trigger of Shannon Sharpe landing on Amazon. All right. Amazon has the NFL package. No, that's YouTube. Excuse me, YouTube. But I think Amazon has it as well. But anyway, I still think it's FanDuel and ESPN. ESPN has the money, okay? And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, they just got through laying off like 20 plus people. How in the hell they got money? I think it was addition meets subtraction. I think a lot of those personalities that they let go of had these amazing contracts, had these big time bags, but it didn't equate to ESPN making money off of them. I think a lot of those, like a Keyshawn Johnson, a Jalen Rhodes, a Max Kellerman, yeah, you're giving them this money, you're giving them this bag, but is it equating to you making more money because of you giving them this contract? I think at the end of the day, it had more to do with business than ESPN struggling to make ends meet. But, I know a lot of you people fall to the wayside of the narratives of what a lot of content creators are saying. Oh, ESPN is broke, Disney is broke. Look at the time. Look at connect the dots. Disney Plus isn't making the same type of money that they were making. The movies are not drawing a lot of money like they used to make with Infinity Ward. Look at ABC. ABC is struggling. Okay. A lot of people seem to forget Disney has the rights to Marvel, to Star Wars. Okay. Those are two biggest heavy hitters on Disney Plus. Not to mention the fact Disney owns Hulu. Not to mention the fact Disney owns a lot of IPs from 20th Century Fox, okay? Like the X-Men, okay? Everyone points out to the X-Men. Everyone points out to them also getting the Hulk back on Disney's property, if you're talking about movies and stuff like that. But people are not paying attention to the other IPs that they bought out from 20th Century Fox, okay? People are not pointing out to that. And there was one point of time where there was a possibility where ESPN could have bought Fox Sports Radio, okay? But if you look at ESPN Radio, it's pretty much on the back burner, okay? So I think they're trying to transition out of radio, all right? But that's neither here nor there. That's another time for another story, all right? But the point I'm making is Disney has money, okay? They're printing money. But at the end of the day, if it don't make dollars, it won't make sense. All right? And they're being smart with the checkbook. They're just not just spending money to just be spending money, like what Microsoft is doing by purchasing all of these studios. I think they have a bottom line. If we get this, what are we going to get on the other side of this deal? How much money we're making off of this deal? I think Disney is slowing their ropes. They're closing the checkbook. What works, they will throw a bag at. What don't work, they're just going to move on to the next thing. I think Disney is operating that way. And also, if you look at these leagues, if you look at the NBA, the NFL, Major League Baseball, let's just talk about those three entities. When their TV contracts are up, they're going to be asking for extreme money if you want the license and if you want these leagues to have their games on your network. I think ESPN is pulling away from that. I think they're going to have some, like with the NFL, I think they're going to negotiate a deal with the NFL where they have their own dealings with the NFL where they don't have to buy the whole entire season. I think they'll leave the whole season for NFL TV and ABC, NBC. They will have a possibility to fork over a lot of money for that, as well as the NBA. I think as the NBA goes, I mean, it's getting, extremely expensive to have these games televised, okay? And I think ESPN is tightening the belt on live sports, okay? They don't mind talking about the sports. They don't mind generating podcasts about the certain sports. They don't mind for personalities to analyze the sports, but they don't have to necessarily buy the rights to have that sports league televised on their network. I talked to you guys a month ago about the possibility of ESPN having just streaming shows such as Sports Center, the 6 p.m. Sports Center, Around the Horn, First Take, all of those original IPs and original shows all under one app. I think Disney is transitioning from, satellite and cable and more into the new wave of media for streaming services. I think, ESPN is heading that way. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, what about ESPN Plus? I think ESPN Plus tried to come to the game with its own original content that's exclusively for ESPN Plus. And then they found out that they nosedive with that theory. So what they did was they birthed from that this theory that I'm getting ready to tell you. ESPN is going to be a streaming service where you get to see all of that original content, plus you get to see a live sports, whatever deal that they negotiate with the big three. All right. If you look at, I just recently, found out that the big three, that's the Ice Cube League, is not going to be exclusively for Fox Sports 1. It's going to be on other streaming services. So, I don't think ESPN is going to regurgitate that type of content, but I will say, Disney would do deals with the big three, but on a smaller scale and on a smaller level, and then they'll generate content off of those deals that they have with those big three. I think they're going to, the WNBA, they're not going, you'll see WNBA games because the NBA is pretty much, is married to the WNBA. And if they do orchestrate a deal with the NBA, where they will get some of their games, they will have to also have some WNBA games tied to it. Okay, that will make that deal beneficial to the NBA, because now you got a network that will broadcast WNBA, and it will be good for ESPN. Now you don't have to pay an astronomical number of money to have the WNBA. All right, so there you have it. Now, I think Shannon Sharpe, I told you guys, it's either FanDuel's or ESPN, or he can just go independent. But with this latest news, it just goes to show you that, I feel like Fox Sports 1 and Skip Bayless pretty much had their card. They were playing poker. We thought that they was going to have this hand, and then they win the match, giving us a totally different hand, and we wasn't expecting this. But like I said, it can go either two ways. Richard Sherman can go be a full-time debate partner for Skip Bayless, or he's going to be in the rotation of people that's going to debate against Skip Bayless. Either way, it's a win-win for Fox Sports 1. It's a win-win for Undisputed, and it's definitely a big win-win for Skip Bayless. All right? But guys, tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. I'm up out of here. I'll talk to you guys later. Deuces.